Hey, what's up everybody? Jason back here again with another video on video games. I want to go ahead and get this video up. I've been working on it for a little while. I've already recorded the video one time, but I didn't like how it turned out. Kind of boring just looking at my face for, any length of time. So I wanted to go ahead and put some footage on here of the games I'm talking about. But this is a video on movies turned into video games. This is a little different than the last video I did, which was the other way around, video games turned into movies. I've got a lot more stuff to talk about here, and I'm going to start with my good. I'm going to move on to my bad later, and this game you're looking at now is GoldenEye from 1997 on the Nintendo 64. I'm sure a lot of you guys recognize this game. A lot of you guys probably played it. I never actually had a Nintendo 64, but I had a lot of friends that did, and played this game quite a bit, played it a lot in college. It was one of the first-person shooter-style games that I remember being any good. And it's a lot of fun when you're playing with friends. I think you can play like 4 people, and it's a ton of fun. Check it out. Find it on an emulator somewhere if you've never played it before. But graphics, look like crap now, but they were pretty good for back in the day. And I know the thing that always pissed me off about this game was somebody was always Odd Job, the really short guy, and he was really hard to snipe. But move on to the next game here. This is The Thing. Came out in 2002, and the console I played it on was the Xbox. I think it was probably released on PC as well, but really stays true to John Carpenter's The Thing. If you're a fan at all of that film, I'd recommend checking this game out. Graphics probably don't hold up very well anymore, but they were pretty good for around the time it came out. This takes place after the movie ends, so kind of cool, kind of continues on the story a little bit, and I had a lot of fun with it. It was definitely fun if you're a fan of that film at all. And let's see, move on to my next game here. This is Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and this is the arcade game. Came out in 1991. Came out on the Genesis and the Super Nintendo, but the one I want to talk about is the one on the actual arcade, not the console version. It was much better. The graphics were a lot better on the one at the arcade, and I think this footage is actually from Super Nintendo, but it looked a lot better on the arcade. And the game was always cool to me because you actually hold a gun in your hands. It was like an Uzi style gun. It had a little grenade launcher on the front. And it was cool, added to the aspects of the game. Real simple style. You just shoot Terminators the whole time, and then you fight the bosses. But it was always hard not to shoot the people in the front. It was, they had to have that in there. That was real similar to a lot of other games that came out around the same time and after this game. Okay, on to my next one. This is Ghostbusters from 2009, and now this is the recent game, and it came out on the Xbox 360 is what I played it on. And this game is really cool because it stays really true to the film franchise. If you're a fan at all of the Ghostbusters films, check this game out. It's a lot of fun. It's something that I never would have thought would have come out in a million years, just because you wouldn't think a demand would be out there for it. But graphics are really good. It's a role-playing style game, and it's got all the original voices in there. And whether or not they make a Ghostbusters 3, even if they don't do it, this game was kind of cool. It's kind of like the send-off for those guys, but kind of getting a little late in the game to make another Ghostbusters movie. But a lot of fun. Check it out. And this next game I have on my list is Terminator Dawn of Fate. It came out in 2002, and what I played it on was the PlayStation 2. A lot of fun. I played most of the games that were affiliated with the Terminator franchise, and this game's kind of unique because it's not really based from any of the movies. This is kind of it has a different storyline. I don't exactly remember the storyline, but it's a third-person shooter. Decent game. Move on to my bad list. This is RoboCop on the Nintendo from 1988. A lot of you guys probably remember this. This was one of the first games that I had for my Nintendo. You know, back in the day, I couldn't just buy games like crazy, so I would probably save up my money for a month or, you know, quite a few months doing odd jobs around the house and whatever. And finally bought this game and got it, and it was a horrible piece of shit. I was a big fan of the movie, like a lot of guys, like a lot of you guys were, and just really disappointed by the video game. Really, just a simple side scroller, and you know, I remember it being really hard. I don't know if that's just because I was young or whatever, but I just lost interest in it. A lot of these similar side scrollers the same way. All right, next one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the Nintendo. This also came out on PC. This is the original game I'm talking about from 1989, and you know, the reason why I put this on the list is because the cartoon was so huge, the movie was so big, and then the game comes out and it's just not very good. It doesn't hold up, you know, at all to how good the film and the cartoons were. You know, I was a huge fan, had all the action figures, and of course, I think I actually did own this game at one time or another. I think I had it on the Game Boy maybe, but just not a lot of fun. A game that did come out was a lot of fun was Turtles in Time, and I had a lot of fun with that game. But this next one is Jurassic Park from the Sega CD, and a lot of you guys probably didn't have a Sega CD, or you're probably familiar with it though. But basically, it's just you're going from one spot to another and watching video essentially. This game was terrible, and it was really weird because I got stuck in a lot of places on it, and I just kind of gave up, and I never really got to any cool parts, and it just wasn't any fun. And you know, a lot of games like that on the Sega CD were the same way. They were just boring, and didn't really enjoy it. Graphics were okay, I guess, but you know, like I said, it was just you're just going from one spot to another watching videos, and I don't know, really missed the mark for me. But I don't know, I guess it kind of stays true to the film, but this is different than I think there was a game out on the Super Nintendo that was similar to this. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy it very much. And let's see, the next one on my list is going to be, this is Back to the Future. Another one on my list because the game's so terrible and the movies were so great. But this came out in, let's see, 1989 on the Nintendo. And you know, as you can tell, it's really similar to another game that was popular on the Nintendo called Paperboy. That's what it always kind of reminded me of. And for some reason, you ride around on a skateboard and do lots of odd things. But just really crappy gameplay and just not a lot of fun, in my opinion. Let's see, on to the next game. This is going to be the Ghostbusters game, and this is the original Ghostbusters game on the Nintendo. Came out in 1988, and just a really crappy game. You see, here's the driving scenes. It's you driving in the car, and I think you shoot ghosts and stuff, and then you get to where you're actually like in a side scroller style. It's just really crappy. The graphics were horrible in this thing. Let's see, what do I have next? This is Gremlins 2, the new batch, and this footage is from the Game Boy because that's where I played it. This is another movie that I liked a lot, and the game was terrible. I think I got the game for Christmas, whatever year it came out, and just not a lot of fun. And really, you know, when the game sucks so bad, I really don't even want to play it. I lose interest, or at least I did. I may have a little bit more patience now, but I never got very far in this game either. I've heard some people say that they like this game, but I was not a fan. I was such a huge fan of the film, and then this game comes out and sucks. But just another example of the these game companies trying to capitalize on popularity of a film, and just not a very good game. But at least Gizmo's in it. That's one positive thing about it. Gizmo looks halfway decent, I guess. Okay, and this next game is Aliens 3, and this is footage from the Game Gear because that's where I played it. And this came out following the movie in 1994. The Aliens 3 was the first one of the Alien films that I saw in the theater, so I was a decent sized fan of the film. So got this game when I got my Game Gear. I think it was like one of the first games I got for the Game Gear. Played it, and just not a lot of fun either. Just not very much fun. Graphics were okay, and let's see, this next game is Terminator on the Nintendo from 1992, I think. And no, that date's probably not right. It's probably before 1992. I'm not sure of the date. Anyway, another game. It's just not very much fun. It's not really similar to the movie at all. It's just they just plug a formula in there. They say, let's just get a side scroller. Let's get a game out there and capitalize on the popularity of the movie. Just graphics are kind of crappy, and just not a good game at all. They probably just used some formula from some other game that they had already ready to go, and just made this game. But not a lot of fun at all. Let's see. The next game is Terminator 2. And this did come out in '92 after the movie Terminator 2 came out. This was released on Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Genesis, and it's a typical side scroller, much like a lot of these games. And you see there, you're playing as Arnold. Just shitty gameplay and not a lot of fun. Another money-making deal by the video game companies. And let's see, next game I have on my list is Batman, and this is Batman on the Game Boy because that's where I played it. And I was a big fan of the Batman movie when it came out, and I think this game came out in 1990. And Batman has a gun, which makes a lot of sense because Batman always shoots people in the movies and in the comics. But I don't know. One good thing about this game is it is kind of fast-paced, so you can kind of move through it quickly. But yeah, just not a lot of fun at all. Graphics were okay for the Game Boy, that is. But yeah, just not a lot of fun, much like a lot of these games. Okay, the next one on my list. This is gonna be a big one. This is Jaws. Came out in 1987, and this is from the Nintendo. Yeah, as you can see, it looks just like the movie there, the guy in a scuba suit, but nothing like the movie. This is another game made by LJN. A lot of these games on my list are made by that company, and just a really crappy company to put games out. And they did a lot of movie adaptations for some reason, but I'm sure it worked out well for them because I knew a lot of people that had this game. And I didn't get very far in this game either. I never owned it myself, but I played it quite a bit. And just not any fun. And I probably saw Jaws maybe one time, and we put something else on and say, hey man, let's put on Contra or something. Let's put on something that's actually fun to play as opposed to this crap. But let's see. Next one on my list is going to be Terminator Rampage. This is going to be the last one on my list of bad video game movies turned into video games. Terminator Rampage came out in 1993, and this was on the PC. I think that's the only place it came out, the only thing it came out on. But as you can see, it looks exactly like Wolfenstein, and the graphics were pretty terrible in this. And I don't know exactly what's going on with the storyline, but apparently you're in like the headquarters for Skynet or something like that. But yeah, another crappy game. Just nothing to it, you know. You just walk through and you shoot things. Just really not a lot to it. But it is first person, which was not all that popular back then. Not as popular as it is now, of course. But not a lot of fun. And that's been my list, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.